And welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm one of your hosts, Courtney Galle, the Director of Special Events for the Conroe Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Brian Bondy is running a few minutes late, so he's going to join us in a little bit. But welcome to the show. Each month, guests are brought on to talk about what is happening in the Conroe Chamber of Commerce. We get the inside scoop of our members, what they do, and what has made their company successful. We also chat about upcoming events and programs the Chamber is hosting. The Chamber is a nonprofit 501c6 organization and is designated as a 3-star accredited chamber by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. The mission of the Chamber is to strengthen the economic environment and quality of life in Montgomery County. I hope you have your cup of coffee because we have a great lineup this morning and a full house. I'm so excited. Oh, y'all aren't on mic or the video. It's just me. I forget Brian's not here. So welcome. It's been a crazy Tuesday. I feel like it's Monday. But we have, for our first segment, John Vanderkay. He's with the Center of Mighty Marriages. Yes. I wrote Minty, and Family, but he is, quote unquote, the relationship repair guy.
Yes.
It's nice to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your organization and what you do as the relationship repair guy? Maybe you can repair some of the relationships we have here today.
Well, yes. All relationships have the same kind of foundation for them, and so we started with working with marriages and families, and it kind of expanded from there. We do counseling, coaching, we do marriage enrichment workshops, and we also do mediations, for family law mediations, trying to help repair relationships, and especially when there's kids involved, try to have mom and dad get along, even if they're in divorce.
Yeah.
So just all kind of building relationships. We do within companies too. If there's conflict erupts amongst employees.
With volunteers.
Yes, those two.
I might have made one of our guests upset today, but I'm emailing and correcting it right now.
That's great. Relationships being repaired as we speak.
As we speak.
Wow.
You can't. In my world, I've learned that you can't trust anybody that got their higher education at TDCJ.
Okay, we're not talking about our choices of college here because we'll get into
Your
big argument.
choice is made by the courts.
No.
Ooh.
No.
I can feel the
so
love in
as
here.
Probably some listeners know, Brian Dawson went to SFA, which we'll forgive him
Excellent.
for. And I went to the great College of Sam Houston State University, eat 'em up cats.
Mm-hmm.
Can we cut his mic off, Dick? Thank you, Mr. Producer.
Well, my daughter goes to Sam Houston, so I can't be totally
there
objective
you go.
in this today.
So two against one.
Where's Brian at?
He's not here yet. We'll make sure that I'll just tell him he's not needed today. We'll have the college showdowns. So you work with individuals, group, and so give me an example of something how you would do for, say, a conflict at a business.
Well, we'd come in and get everybody that's involved in it to sit down and force everybody, if need be, to be quiet and listen, to understand each other. Mm-hmm. As human beings, we all want to be heard. So if everybody's talking, nobody's listening. And many times, just knowing what is going on with you, what's your concern, what's the issue, because misunderstanding leads to a lot of conflict. So
I'm trying to do two things at once, Dick, but I'm taking it off now. My producer's like, stop. Okay, I'm done. Sorry, Go ahead. I was listening.
Yeah. So, coming in, letting them focus on first seeing each other as human beings. Yeah. And I know that conflict is natural for human beings. Yeah. Because we're all inherently selfish. Come out that way. I've got 5 kids and I've never had a selfishness class with them. This is how you sit down. This is how you grab somebody else's toy. This is how you schwack them. Yeah. It comes natural. Yeah. But when we have relationships, whether coworkers or family and all that, we've got to listen to each other. We've got to find out what's... Because I'm working on this invention, and it's one where one person sticks it in their right ear and the other person sticks it in their left ear, and there's a button on it. You push it, and there's just a complete download of thoughts and feelings that goes both ways. Mm-hmm. When I perfect it, I'm going to be a bazillionaire. And every counselor is going to be put out of business.
Can we get in on that?
But until it's perfected, the only way what's in a head and heart is going to get into somebody else's, you got to talk. You got to communicate that.
Right. That's the big thing is communication.
Yeah. So helping individuals be able to communicate with each other so you know what the issue is.
Yeah.
Many times that resolves it. We
Right.
just want to be heard and understood, and
True.
we get upset when we feel like we're invalidated and not
Yeah.
heard and understood. So
Yeah.
helping businesses to do that and to be able to put focus back on customers and taking care
Right.
of them. But when you have conflict in the workplace, it decreases productivity.
Of course,
because
yeah.
Everybody's looking out, protecting
Yeah.
their back.
And I'm assuming a lot of times when you kind of correct or get that communication flowing, that it ends up solving the problem and it works out that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of times we react to what we think is the issue,
Of course, yeah.
and because we can't read minds,
Right.
that guessing
Yeah.
oftentimes leads us to reacting to something that may not even be there.
Right.
Once you hear about it, and you go,
Right.
okay, we can address it. And then sometimes when you're still locked in disagreement,
Yeah.
then we can use some other conflict resolution
Right.
strategies in that.
Do you think it's better, or I should say, maybe not better, but like the form of communication? Do you think it's better just to talk about it after it happens, or a time period has to, especially I'm thinking more like in business, like if you have a conflict with a coworker or something like that, is it better just to address it like right then, or wait, or maybe it depends on the person? I like to just address it to get over with and move on, because I don't like it hanging,
Sure, yeah. That's maybe more your personality is involved
Right.
with that. I think what's critical is to know whether or not their fight or flight mechanism has been engaged. Because if they get defensive,
Yeah.
that there's actually the part of your brain that has
Right.
self-control shuts down when we have,
Yeah.
because we just need to react when danger is coming. But
Yeah.
in interpersonal relationships, it's pretty seldom that there's
Yeah.
actual danger, physical
Right.
danger. But if somebody's reacting that way, you're not going to reason your way through it. Then
True.
waiting for another time till things
Yeah.
cool down and coming
Or
back.
just to know that person and kind of say, like, if somebody likes to wait and like mull it over, say, hey, I really want to get this off my chest, but if you need to wait, again, probably it all goes back to communication.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people are different on that. Some people, especially introverts, a lot of times they need to get alone and
Right.
process and work
Yeah.
through it. And then extroverts want to get it done right away. But if you're in a conflict with
Yeah.
somebody different than you,
Right.
you can create more conflict by
Right.
trying to go against what the other person.
Yeah,
So,
I think I've noticed that a lot in my relationships, because I like I said, I want to get it out and get it done and move on from it. Because if it mulls in me, then it's just like 6 months later, I'm like, blah, 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 and they're like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I've noticed when I'm trying to talk to somebody who likes to think it over, it is sometimes difficult to communicate, because it seems like you're so opposite of that.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
they start to shut down and go into protective mode.
Right.
So they're not listening to you. And so the
Yeah.
more you kind of come at them, the more they withdraw.
Yeah.
And so there's a point where it's just not productive
Yeah.
anymore. And waiting
Yeah.
causes less problems.
Do you have more people? And if y'all want to chime in, y'all can. Oh, hi, John Sellers. Do you need to talk about relationships, John Sellers? He's not saying anything.
My butt warmer in my car is stuck in the on position.
Oh gosh.
So got a little bit of the burn going on.
Oh yeah. So maybe not.
That's all I got.
That's another conversation for another day.
Next on segment 2.
Right. Okay. So I have two questions. John, do you want to join us?
That's what Brian sent me over here
Oh, okay.
to fill in for him. But
Perfect. Do you want to jump on maybe Kim's spot, and then when Kim comes in?
Sure.
Okay, so our special guest host is John Sellers with the Chamber.
Howdy.
So we're talking to John here. He's the relationship repair guy. So we're talking about repairing relationships, so personal and professional. So as coworkers, we can talk if we have conflicts. Maybe he can work out. Do we have any conflicts? Not that I know of.
I have a horrible relationship with food.
Well, yeah. Well, yes. But we're talking about human repair.
Human repair.
Not your own issues, John.
I love everybody. Well, I love food way too much.
Sure,
Well,
it's just
I-
between
that
you
too.
and me and
Right.
the rest of the world
Yeah,
that's
I
listening.
mean, I have that issue too, but that's probably for another day. Do you see more, I guess, do you call them clients? Or
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you see more clients on, that want to resolve personal relationships, or on the business side, like coworker relationships, things like that?
Right now, more on the personal relationships. We're growing more on the business side.
Yeah.
Because a lot of businesses still think that I'm going to ask everybody to lay down on the couch and talk about their mom, but that's
Yeah.
not
That's
what we do
different
on
for that,
So
yeah.
I think that the TV version of counseling and conflict resolution is
Yeah.
a lot different than
Right.
the reality of how you
Yeah.
do it. Because I call everybody that comes to see me clients.
Yeah.
Because I do counseling and coaching. Conflict.
Right.
It's not something I do to people that I do with people.
Right.
So you partner together and
Yeah.
and figure out what the issues are and how best to solve them.
Yeah. Do you have any tips, like 3 tips to like better relationships?
Well, yes, actually, because there's 3 foundations to any lasting
Okay.
relationship.
Yeah.
One is trust. That's what lets somebody get in close
Right.
enough to be in a relationship.
Right.
A lot of people view it like a light switch. It's either on or off.
Correct.
That's not how it really works.
Yeah.
It grows like a strand at a time on those multi-stranded cables.
Can in your mind, do you think trust can be rebuilt?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
I
that's
do it every
good.
day.
Yeah.
To see that if it's been broken, it can be repaired if 2 people want it.
Right. They have to
Because-
both want it. Yeah.
Right, because you can't repair it from one side.
Yeah.
You can do your part, but it takes the other person, because really everybody involved in relationships has veto power in the relationship. If they don't want to be involved,
Mm-hmm. Right.
they say, I'm done, and
Yeah.
you can't make them.
Yeah.
Even if you can physically restrain them and make it be that.
Right.
You can't make them want to be in it.
Yeah.
And so they have to have that want to
Right.
make it work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So once they have an element of trust, then effective communication is the second foundation.
Okay.
You can't effectively communicate if you don't have trust, because
True.
I'm not going to tell you something that you're going to use as a weapon against me.
Right.
Like within marriages, or it really expands to relationships. I heard it so much, I call it the marriage Miranda rights, or relationship Miranda rights. Is
You've
heard it?
remain silent. I can
it's a
tell
little
lot
bit
with my
different.
wife.
Yes. Remain
Yeah.
silent.
Well, in relationships, especially close ones, it goes, you don't have a right to remain silent, but anything you say can and will be held against you in future arguments.
Yeah, I've got that one down.
Okay. Everybody who's married, take those notes down.
Once you read that to your spouse or
Yeah.
the other person in a relationship, you find out it's much easier just to shut up.
Yes, dear.
And so if you shut
John
up,
has been
then-
trained on that by Katie. Yes, dear.
well, you can't grow in the relationship if you shut up and
Yeah.
withdraw. So have to have trust to be able to effectively communicate.
Right.
And once you're able to communicate effectively, it identifies the problem, but
Yeah.
you have to have some skills. So you have to go to the third level, which is conflict resolution.
Yeah.
Conflict revisiting comes natural to all of us, where we have the same argument over and over and over, and it
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ends in one of a few ways. We get exhaused, or we just get bullied into saying, okay, whatever your way.
Right.
But then the next day or next week, same argument comes up over and over. So when you have the skills to resolve it,
Right.
then everything else in relationships is an application of those 3
Yeah.
different areas in that. Like within businesses and coworkers,
Yeah.
do you trust your coworkers to tell them how you really feel?
Right.
Do you know how to communicate that to them?
Right.
Again, if you had that magic cable and working on, you wouldn't need
Right.
to worry about it. But until then, you have to have that.
Yeah.
And then the skills to say, okay, we still want this relationship to happen. I mean, we still got to work with each other.
Right.
We still got to live in the same house and all of that.
Right.
So resolving the conflict, then the relationships on the other side.
Yeah. Communication and trust. Basics.
And conflict, yes.
Yes.
This is often the hardest for us.
Right,
is
exactly.
We forget about the basics and we want to
Yeah.
make it more complicated.
Yeah.
But it's simple but hard.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
those things sound very simple, but the underlying aspects of trust, I mean, just alone is a very complicated thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And then repairing it makes it even harder because we want it our way. And that. But seeing that done, I mean, that's what gets me up in the morning and gets
Yeah.
me going, is to be able to see that happening with people.
Yeah.
That, I just did. I do also do marriage intensives where I spend 1 or 2 full days with couples that are in major crisis.
Yeah.
I did one last week. A couple was separated, headed for divorce.
Mm-hmm.
They came in for 2 days. Starting the day, they were sitting as far apart as you could on the couch, and they were even leaning over the side of the couch. And by the end of the second day, they were sitting next to each other with their arms around
Oh,
each
wow.
other. It's to see that kind of
Yeah.
restoration happen
Right.
and say they
Yeah.
didn't really start with those 3 foundations.
Right.
They didn't trust each other, some because of real stuff that happened, and
Yeah.
some for imagining and reading into
Right.
motivations in that.
Yeah.
But then getting those 3 foundations, they know where each other is.
Right.
And there was a reason they got together in the first place. So
Right.
we remember that. Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
liked you at one point.
Yeah.
So we decided to get married.
Right.
We just forget about that.
Right,
And
yeah.
stuff happens.
Yeah.
So seeing it turn around is,
Yeah.
that's pretty exciting.
That is probably really probably the best part of your job is to
Yes.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah, to see it happen. I wish it happened with
more
everyone.
often. Right, yeah.
Because I can't make people do it.
Right.
But I think there's some reason they are coming to me, so there's that want
Right.
to, which
Exactly.
is really important.
Yeah.
And then I believe everybody has personal responsibility that
Yeah.
I can't take away from them. And if they're
Right.
wanting to do it, I can help them do it. If they're not,
Yeah.
I can't make them do it.
Yeah.
I'll move on to somebody that does
Right.
want to work on it.
Right. Exactly.
I had a quick question. Is most of what you do, would you consider it secular, or I mean, do you use faith at all in any of your
Oh,
counseling?
that's a good question.
Yes. Yes, I'm a minister and retired Air Force chaplain, but fundamental to who I am, and my personal relationship with God is everybody's created with free will. I'm not worthy to be anybody's judge, but depending on what importance they place on faith, my servant in the military as chaplain gave me a lot of experience with working with people of lots of different denominations and faiths, but really focusing on if they're living according to what they believe. And then it doesn't change who I am and what I stand for, but starting with where they are. So if they're Christians, I can go the distance on that.
All right.
But if they're not living according to what is the foundation that they have, if it's their faith, or you have to make decisions, and if there's got to be something unchangeable to decide what's right and wrong in relationships. If not, then it becomes the Wild West. You know, whoever's the fastest with the tongue, whoever's the fastest, the most forceful, makes the rules. Which, as much as we glorify the Old West in movies and all that, imagine living where you had to be quick on your gun all the time,
Right.
because that's how things were settled. It's pretty unpleasant thing to live with. But when you have the foundations of, okay, how do you decide what's right and wrong? That really doesn't depend on how you feel. You know, if I don't like you today, I still need to have a fundamental respect for you as a human being, which for me derives from humans are created in the image of God, have value and worth. They didn't earn, they can't lose. And so how you treat another person should be with a fundamental level of respect, regardless of what they've done, because they
Yeah.
don't cease to be fundamental value and made in the image of God when they're mean, because you can think they have value even if you don't like what they did. We can deal with what they do, which is really what we try to do in conflict resolution, is
Yeah.
see what a person has done as the problem, not the person. When you separate the person from the problem, then
Gotcha.
we can attack the problem without attacking the person,
Gotcha.
and still see the value of them.
That makes sense. That's probably hard though.
Yeah, it's like much of this is easier said than
Right,
done.
yeah.
But very possible. And the fact that we're all inherently relational beings, humans are inherently
Yeah.
relational, means that there's something in us that's driving toward that.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean, like when you think of the worst punishment that we have in our prison systems is we take a person's life away from them as the highest thing. The second highest punishment we do in the prison system is we draw relationships from them. We put them in solitary confinement. As a human being, that's great punishment for them. And to see, in fact, I know of a number of lawsuits making their way all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court, challenging that as solitary as cruel and unusual
Unusual.
punishment, because people are going crazy, because we're inherently relational.
Right.
Yeah. I think if you've seen the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks, he's on this island. He's the only human being there.
Right.
And that need for relationships is so great, he creates a relationship with
Right.
Wilson. And they have arguments because there's just has to be one human being involved in a relationship for there to be arguments. He's arguing with Wilson's ball.
Yeah.
But when Wilson starts to float away out of
Right,
sea,
yes.
he
Oh,
says,
that's
I'm going to be all
heart-crushing.
alone.
Yeah.
And he panics.
Yeah.
And then makes up with
Yeah.
the ball.
Well, he almost
it?
sabotages his whole, escape from the island, going after the ball.
That's
It's
true,
amazing
yeah.
what he sacrificed just
yeah.
to get
Right.
it back in his presence.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he needs a
Needs that.
relationship.
Right.
We all do.
Yeah.
You went with Castaway, and I was thinking Count of Monte Cristo.
That's another good
Oh.
one.
Oh, I've not seen that.
Well, it's a book.
It's a very-
See,
Oh,
the
well, I
thing-
knew-
it has pages with
Oh,
writing
that kind
top
of
to bottom, left
See,
to right.
we only did visual work at Sam. Sorry.
Was that for good behavior?
Yes.
I got TV.
Yeah.
You got movies for good
yeah,
behavior.
Yeah. Now I don't like I mean I've heard of it before, but I've never read that. But is this
Well,
a
the
concept?
short,
Classic.
the short
It is
version of the
actually
story
video.
is he's wrongly accused, and he's in solitary confinement in a prison, an island prison off the
Yeah.
coast of Marseille, and For 14 years, he's in solitary confinement and concocts this massive plan to not only escape, but then retribution on the people that falsely accused him. The movie, Jim Caviezel, who played Jesus in the Passion of Christ, plays the Count of Monte Cristo and Edmond Dantes, and did an excellent job. But he borderline, like you said, went. There was a little very vengeful, and I think that's a path. And I don't know.
You turn inward. It becomes natural as a human being.
But that's interesting. To me, that's an interesting concept about solitary and how then you can I think I would probably go crazy too. You know, I mean.
Yeah, it'd be even worse for an extrovert. I'm guessing you're an extrovert, so
How'd you guess? I would think so too. So
here's something kind of switching gears though, but this was around Thanksgiving. I read an article that was talking about how politics has become a big driver of divorces these days.
Really?
Which it might not be.
What is
politics? I mean,
I can see that.
I'll say it, Trump. You have,
one person who likes it and one person who doesn't.
That just kind of blows my mind. It might not be such a problem, here in this area, but I could see,
I can see that.
I can see it because we're in a day and age where identity politics it's not about values, it's not about principles, it is about we're in a day and age of identity politics, and there are naturally identifying differences between a man and a woman in a marriage, and I can see where that would because you're focusing so acutely on on certain things that I can certainly see that.
That makes sense. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm sure we could probably dive into so much more on this topic, but we have a full guest roster this month. So will you let people know how they can get in touch with you if they're interested in business coaching or personal relationship building or relationship repairs, that kind of stuff?
Sure. Well, through our website, mightymarriages.org.
Okay.
And then through our phone numbers, 936-703-5029.
Perfect.
And we're just about a half mile from here is our
awesome
main location.
Yeah, we'll need to have you back on for a longer segment because I think we could just go on and on and on about this.
Great.
Yeah.
We'd be glad to.
Yeah. Will you stay for the rest of the rest of the hour? Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Okay, I think we'll go on a commercial. We'll be back with Chamber Chat in just a few minutes on Lone Star Community Radio.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out ourlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776 with your questions. Get seen on TV, YouTube, and heard on our podcast, FM, and internet radio. Support your local radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
And we are back on Lone Star Community Radio with Chamber Chat. I am one of your hosts, Courtney Galle, the Director of Special Events for the Chamber. And we have
John Sellers. I'm filling in for Brian Bondy. I'm the Director of Finance and Operations at the Chamber.
Special guest.
What's his name again?
Who?
The special guest.
You.
I'm
You're the
host.
special guest. What I'm trying. Co-host. Thank you. My
There we
mind
go.
is just
Okay.
everywhere. Yes, co-host. I just like to make it sound like we're professionals, John.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, no, there's cameras. They can do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So we're going to be talking next with Mr. Brian Dawson about the 55th Annual Go Texan Parade, which is February 22nd.
22nd.
Not the 15th, the 22nd.
Yeah, we were having that discussion a while ago,
Yeah.
and there's more confusion. There's a little bit of confusion this year just because it's a leap year, and normally that wouldn't matter, except the leap year, the 29th, fell on a Saturday, which gave us an extra Saturday in the month,
true.
pushed the whole calendar back a week. Fun fact, the only other time it's been pushed back a week like this other than a leap year, Super Bowl.
I remember that, yes.
Because
Yeah.
of the Super Bowl being in Houston a few years ago,
Yep.
it pushed that whole calendar.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, maybe this is the one thing, I tell everybody that there's always something, every year that I've done this, there's always been one something that makes that year memorable and different. So we've had, the short list is we had a car club that it was a warm year in February, and it was a long parade, and we had cars overheating. The older cars,
that must have been before my time.
which is not uncommon for that to happen. With
Yeah.
older cars just sitting and idling.
Right.
We landed a helicopter one year in the staging area because they were doing the air show. That never had,
yes,
but they
yes,
had
I remember
an
that.
entry,
Yeah.
which that raised
Yes.
a lot of eyebrows when at 8:00 in the morning they're landing a
Yes.
helicopter.
That was just maybe like 3 years ago?
3 years ago,
Yeah.
we had not associated with the parade, but in the parade route, 5 minutes before the parade was supposed to start last year, they had a fender bender.
Oh, yeah. I
remember that. Yes.
So that delayed us
gosh.
about 15 minutes. So there's always there's always something. Like I said, there's always that one thing.
So is
So I'm
the
hoping
thing
that this
to
year,
is
the
just
date this year, I'm hoping the date this year is the
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah. We'll push it out to everybody. I mean, I know all of the participants and stuff that I've been emailing have that, but we'll push it out. Like, just make sure people know it's the 22nd.
It's the good and the bad of the problem is that we have a lot of people that gravitate to the parade. It's a big event for a lot of people in the community.
Yeah.
And they jump on it because they want to let their folks know, and they get out there and they go creating social media events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes there are changes like that, and that's why we tell, we're thankful to do this parade in conjunction with the chamber, and all the social media runs through y'all. And
Yep.
that's why we try and push everybody to the official event, because real-time updates, we're able to get information out, links to I know you've got the entry form there, but links to the entry form, the route, all of that information is current and up to date, and we can guarantee that that's correct there.
Yeah. Maybe we can do a little PSA on Lone Star Community Radio, Dick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's good to have.
That'll work, yes.
It's good to have low friends in high places.
Right, exactly. I know there's going to be some on another radio station, and then some stuff in the paper as well too. So, communication through
You know what I
through the
realized
chamber.
on Sunday, and I said they butchered my last night was our monthly meeting, and they just got all up in my English over this because of the way I said it. But do you know what I realized Sunday night?
What?
There have been more Go Texan parades than there have been Super Bowls.
Oh, that's right,
Okay.
because it's 55.
55 and 54.
Oh, wow.
I mean, to keep that in perspective.
Wow.
I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of people don't realize that the Go Texan Parade in Conroe is the unofficial start for
Yes.
the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
Yeah.
Where this year
I call it the official start, but I can do
Yeah,
that.
But
I think it's very much the official start.
the 22nd, like this year will be the 22nd. The 29th is all next week will be the trail rides coming into town. The 29th is the big Houston Parade, downtown Houston. But this is their last hoorah before they all go to work
Right.
for a month. And they view it as such. And they put, there's a new captain of Diane is the new captain of the Speakers Bureau. Which
Oh, yeah. I
those
know
that
Diane.
that may be familiar with how our parade's laid out. They at the different corners, they announce the floats and stuff. What I didn't know until this year, her and I had a lengthy conversation, is that the Houston Parade on the 29th, they've got 10 speaker stations. There's 10 teams that are calling out the floats. To be a speaker at the Conroe at the Go Texan Parade, you have to be one of those 10, and of those 10, you have to audition, and
Oh, I didn't know that.
only the top 5 teams from the 10 get the opportunity to come to Conroe.
So we get the best of the best.
We get the best of the best.
I did not know that either. That's great marketing promotion information.
I mean, they put
that's really cool.
They hold this parade in high regard.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. We do a lot of things to make them feel welcome. And I tell everybody, whether it be our committee, I said it last night at our meeting, or if it's dealing with you or telling businesses and asking businesses to participate or youth groups to participate, it is our opportunity to show off Montgomery County, Conroe to the highest of the high in the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, because they're here for the good time. They're here to show themselves off, but to interact with our businesses, our local youth groups that participate.
Yeah,
so
that's a really great point. I'll just let our audience know that anybody can participate. You don't have to be a member of the chamber. I know sometimes when stuff's associated with the chamber, you think you have to be a member. I do have entry forms, so you can download that from our website underneath the event as well too. And if you're a nonprofit or youth group, there's no fee to participate. So I encourage those groups to come. It's a great way to market your organization. And then if you're kind of a commercial or other, it's a $50.
$100.
50. We changed it. Sorry. Somebody changed it. I didn't change it. Somebody did. This year, it was, but now it's 50. Mm-hmm. And, just for people who are like, for-profit businesses and things like that. And then you can kind of enter into different classifications. So you can have horses, you can have a judge float, you can march and walk, or you can have a vehicle. For the judge float, so that's a competition. So you'll, for the judge floats, you decorate your float in the theme. And this year's theme is cowboy boots and country roots. It always rhymes. It's always a little tongue twister there. And then they do youth, nonprofit and commercial and
first, second, third.
Yes, and win award. And awards for that. So it's really cool because you can see when you're watching the parade, you see it as it comes in theme.
They get elaborate with it. I tell everybody, I have a 5-page checklist for this parade, and the first thing every year is we get done with the parade, we have a wrap-up meeting, and I said, okay, guys, now what's the theme going to be? Because I have a list of all the themes from all.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good to have.
I only go back to like the mid-'80s. I don't go.
Oh, but that's good to know, yeah.
And so I keep this master Excel spreadsheet, and we try not to repeat, but we go back. We went back this year and went through a bunch of ideas to try and figure out what to do. But that's probably one of the harder things, is because you don't want to repeat, because it's being used as the parameters for the judge floats, and we get some interesting things.
I did have a longtime participant. I won't call them out on the radio, but they were like, "Oh, there's no education component to the theme this year," which I thought was kind of. I thought, "Oh gosh," so because they usually do a judge float every time, so they were like, "I guess they're paying attention to the themes too."
So we had that. So that and this is a good point of why we keep that list. Is someone made that comment and they said, "Well, we've always had an education component." Yeah. And in their context, and they weren't, I'm not trying to dog the person, but in their context, we had always had an education component. But if you go back and you look at the list, I may have it.
Oh, exciting.
We have not always had an education component.
That's just that maybe some of the
we started it, and then they ran with it for 8 or 10 years.
Right.
And then, as the committee kind of cycles through, they kind of thought that became the norm.
Yeah.
And then we just, and then people, you naturally believe that, hey, we always do that. Well, we didn't, and it reframes your context. You go back, and that opens the doors back up. So.
Yeah, they're kind of cool if we could, if you end up having that. So I'll just reiterate too. So if you want, the deadline to enter is February 14th, and it's on. If you go to conroe.org and you go on February 22nd on our calendar, then there should be an application to download that, or just email me at courtneyg@conroe.org, and I can send you the application. And we're about a little over halfway full. So compared to the past year. So we definitely have space for you, but it will fill up in the next coming week. So get your entry forms in. I just think especially for the nonprofits, and I talk to a lot of them who are our chamber members, I just think it's a great way for them to organize, get their organization out there, and a fun way to be part of the community. And it's really fun. The chamber always participates as well too. We usually ride in it as well too. And it's just always fun. It's nice to, we'll call for Chamber of Commerce weather as well too for that day. But John brings his kids out and they ride with us, and it's a really great day.
And our committee does 4 events a year, and this is the one that
it's not just this event.
While commercial and political entries we do charge, it's nominal, and that goes.
Right. Yeah, let us know where.
It's really to offset our costs. We're not making money on this event.
It's not a fundraiser for y'all. It's
it
more
is
of a
not a
community
fundraiser
event.
for us. But I want to reiterate what the committee does and the impact it has. We serve Conroe and Willis ISDs, and last year they gave back $20,000 plus scholarships. Over $200,000 in money came back to those two graduating seniors from those 2 school districts, which includes the Woodlands.
Right.
To our community. Every dollar that is raised, if you go to our dance, or in the summer our bowling tournament, or in the fall our fish fry, every dollar that's raised there comes back to one of those 2 school districts. Yeah. So it's not like it does go in a pot, but every dollar is marked and comes back.
Right. I think that's a good point, that it's not going to other things outside of the county.
Yeah. It does not.
Yeah.
And talk about what a good value for your business. I mean,
right.
That you can't get that kind of exposure for that kind of money anywhere else that I can think of.
Yeah, try and buy an ad.
We've been blessed with some really strong crowds. I told the story last night, or a couple years ago. I have a meeting with Speakers Bureau every parade day at noon at Corner Pub where they gather. And I remembered riding over on my golf cart, and it's dreary and it's misting.
Yeah.
And it's just gloomy,
right.
And humdrum day, if you will. And I'm like, God, there's nobody on the streets. And I'm like, what are we going to do? Because as the chair of the parade, you're thinking about your participants, but you're also thinking about the crowds and how those interact. And I go in, I have that meeting, and 20 minutes I'm in there, and I come out, and the heavens had parted, the skies had dried up, and people came out of nowhere. The streets were full in a matter of 20 minutes. And it was, we've been very blessed.
Yeah.
I've seen the day start pretty rough a couple times, but we've been blessed with some really good weather over the last few years, and we hope. We've only ever canceled it twice.
Right.
We're a rain or shine event, and we come prepared for that.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's a lot of exposure that can be had from being in that parade.
Yeah.
It just. Me being a consumer, seeing, even if you're a national chain or something like that, if you're taking the time to prepare a float and you've got your employees donating their time to ride in it and decorate it, I mean, that says a lot. It says that this business is a part of our community.
Right.
Well, I mean, even take the chamber. So, I mean, we don't require all the staff to be there, but usually all the staff comes. We ask our board members to come, and it's a day for us to kind of, show off the chamber, but also have some, like a staff day, to be together with our families and stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun, too. And I mean, I think last year I think it was like hot, cold, hot or something like that. It was like 4 seasons in one day.
Yeah, like it was right now.
The back of my truck is kind of like headquarters central, right? It's where, because we use radios and all kinds of stuff, and we have different supplies that we need. But there's a corner of the back seat of my truck that is reserved for Brian's wardrobe changes. It's not because I'm a diva. It's because I have shown up at 7:00 to start prepping for our meeting, and it's 28 degrees outside, and I've got a Carhartt and a long sleeve denim shirt on and a hat. And before it's all said and done, I'm in a t-shirt I'm in this HLSR polo because it's 70 degrees.
Yeah.
You've got to be prepared. And then I've been in a rain jacket and
right.
But we're there usually from about 7-8 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the evening in the afternoon, getting ready and trying to keep everything clear. So we've got to be prepared for those swings.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. What I like too is sometimes we get the mascots at the chamber to change. So sometimes we get to see Howdy and
Miss Moo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's always like the kids like that when we have the kids there too. So
I found my list.
Oh yeah. Okay. So give us some.
This is an old list. I've only got through 2015, but the first one I have is in '88, and it was cartoon characters Go Texan.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And then Texas Under Six Flags was 89, and 90 was Famous Texans, which I think would be a cool.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Some of these I've wanted to recycle.
Yeah.
The 91 I thought could be really open-ended and cool. It was Go Texan with Montgomery County. Because we're in Montgomery County, I thought 92 history in the Lone Star State.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one too. Yeah.
Come out and play in Montgomery County. Spring Fling was 94. 100 years of Montgomery County was in 95.
Yeah.
The Centennial. Education, past, present, future. 96 is when we started the education kind of deal.
Yeah.
97 education. I think that was one of the years that I think that was a year that got canceled because of rain, because it was like bad ice.
Yeah, it was like real cold.
And so they held that
Yeah.
over. Birthplace of the Lone Star Flag was 98. 99 was Houston's Playground, Montgomery County Houston's Playground. 2000 was Montgomery County Millennium Milestones.
Yeah.
2001 was Should Have Been a Cowboy.
Oh, that's cute.
2002 was Saluting 37 Years in the Dome.
Oh, for the Astrodome.
Okay. For the Astrodome. I think that was
because they moved. Is that when they moved it?
I think that was the last year that the rodeo was done in the dome.
Oh, that's cool. Was. Yeah.
03 was It's Roundup Time in Montgomery County. 04 was Saluting the American Cowboy. 05 was Saddling Up with Texas Pride. 2006 was Rope in the Wind. 2007 was Hats Off to Our Hometown Heroes. 08 was Rodeo Roundup for Education. 09 was Blazing a Trail to Higher Education. 10 was Kicking Up Our Boots to Educate Our Youth. 11 was Saddle Up for Success. 12 was also canceled, but it was 12 and 13 were the same: Boots, Books, and Education.
Okay.
14 was Salute to Our Scholars, and 15 was 50 Years of Supporting Youth in Education.
Yeah.
So if you notice, there's a couple of songs in there, and I wanted to steal Cody Johnson's and do Deer Rodeo because I thought that would be a great
really
thing.
cool. I like Texans Legends. I think that's kind of
So
we'll put our votes in for those.
It's a wide range.
Yeah.
Look, it's a wide open process. So if you've got any suggestions, email me, call me, text me. I'll put them on. I keep a running list for next year to have suggestions.
Yeah.
And usually those don't get picked. Usually somebody comes up with something much better, because that's not my forte. But it is that number one step that we got to take. And so.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, is there anything else you want to let our listeners know about the parade or about the committee or anything like that?
The parade kicks off at 1:00. The hogs from Cut and Shoot will clear the parade route at 12:50. Please come out if you're interested. Go to the chamber website. We'll have the entry forms are there. If you've got any questions, my contact information is there. It's probably the easiest thing. And I think Courtney's contact information is there.
Yeah. If I don't know it, I'll relay it to Brian.
And we look forward to having. But please come join us. Last year was probably one of the longest parades we've had in years.
Yeah.
And it always ends up being a great time.
I mean, the more the better. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah, come join us. Come see. It's a fun, relaxing family day.
Yeah.
Supporting a committee that does a lot to raise money for education of the youth for Conroe and Willis ISD. So
like I said,
if it's something you're interested in, let us know. You can get involved in the committee or in any of our other events as well. So.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Again, I just want to let people know that if you're a nonprofit or a youth organization, it is free, and otherwise it's a $50 kind of entry fee. But hey, $50, that's not that bad. But yeah, you can ride a horse. You can do the judge float. You can march or walk or have a vehicle. And it really is, we'll order that Chamber of Commerce weather and have a really great day. And we would love to have as many people participate as we can. And I think that's it. Thank you, Mr. Dawson, for coming.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
My favorite bear cat.
Yeah, I mean, your only probably favorite bear cat.
I tell them all that.
You're right. So again, you can go to conroe.org to find that information. And we will be back on Lone Star Community Radio with our last guest in just a few moments. Thank you.
Second Saturday Divorce Workshop provides unbiased information to help you understand your options and move forward with your life. This divorce workshop is for you if you are contemplating divorce, in the process of divorce, already filed for divorce, or post-divorce. You will explore the emotional, legal, and financial aspects of divorce from professionals who have guided others through divorce. For more information on this divorce workshop, contact SecondSaturdayWoodlands.com or call 832-375-0900.
Hey guys, this is Connor.
This is Dick.
This is Chris. And we're with the Ticket Stub Podcast every Thursday live at noon on 104.5 and 106.1 FM in the Conroe area. Also, anytime at irlonestar.com. You go to irlonestar.com/TTS. You can find all of our social media.
And don't forget, we give away 2 tickets to the Grand Theater on every show.
If you like movies and you like complaining or celebrating anything that has to do with the silver screen, check out the Ticket Stub Podcast and join us every Thursday at noon o'clock on Lone Star Community Radio.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776 with your question. Get seen on TV or YouTube and heard on our podcast, FM, and internet radio. Sponsor your local radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
And we are back with Chamber Chat on Lone Star Community Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Courtney Galle.
And I'm your extra special fill-in guest host, John Sellers, filling in for Brian Bondy.
Put in a lot of adjectives there. Well, we just got through speaking with Brian Dawson with the Go Texan Committee about the parade. And now we're going to speak with one of our great members, Kim Lejeune, with Tiny Giant Web Solutions.
Hello.
Welcome. She's also a diplomat, so we'll be talking about a little bit of chamber stuff. So why don't you tell...
She's also a board member.
Oh, yeah, and a new board member.
I know.
Right? Yes.
Right.
So, yeah. Why don't you tell our audience, oh my gosh, I just spit everywhere. Tell our audience a little bit about you and your business.
Kim Lejeune. I'm married to Randy Lejeune. We started Tiny Giant Web Solutions back in 2015, but my husband has been a developer like ever since the computer came into existence. So if you remember the DOS screen, well, that was his playground. So he became a developer and has been writing code. He grew up here in Conroe, graduated Conroe High in 1983. I moved here from California. Met him, got married 33 years later, I think, ish. So anyway, that's us. So I work with him, started 2 years ago, kind of working beside him in sales.
Yeah, so you do more of the sales stuff in order.
I do. Yeah.
Okay, so so y'all do everything from website development. Do y'all do that, but do you do any like
marketing
management?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Like what all kind of points do y'all touch with y'all's business?
So great question. What we do is we start with your basic website. So we love to work with small businesses, mom and pops, anywhere from 1 to 25 employees. And we build one-page websites all the way to however many you need.
Right.
Once we develop the website, we make sure everything is SEO, CRO. We can take care of all of your SEO needs. We can do your social media.
Right.
Google AdWords, we're Google partners, so we make sure that everything is Google specific.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And then PPCs or Google AdWords, we make sure social media, any kind of branding that you need. We have graphic design team. Anyway, so we do it all. We can
start from the very
finish.
beginning,
and printing, so we can come up with your logo. We can make sure that you get all your printed materials and things like that.
So even like graphic design, kind of more like marketing.
Yep,
all that kind of stuff.
We can do all of it, and we also do. One of our other businesses that my husband is Extreme Command, so it's developing. So he writes C++ code. He can do all kind of crystal reporting. So we do large to very small. So can we hit it all? Absolutely. But I'm here with Tiny Giant Web Solutions. So
that really is something you don't normally get with that type of business. Is an experienced coder. I mean,
Yes.
That can solve all kinds of problems before they even start. And a lot of people run into that when they're trying to develop something new that the company that's handling their website needs is using some kind of third-party software that a lot of times they don't even know what they're doing.
Yes. And we run into, we have so many clients that come to us and they're like, I wish we would have found you before we went with a company in California or where we're right here. We can sit face to face with you. We can talk about what your needs are and build with your brand, build with your company, or take what's broken and fix it. And one of the things I love what you said, John, was that Randy is a developer. So he looks behind and can go, that's not going to work, or, let's fix that and we can make it better. And That's just what makes us unique.
Yeah. If anybody who's ever had like a crash on their website, when I worked at the Pavilion, we had that, and it like, it was just horrible. It was like every morning I walked in, they're like, the website has been compromised, because we used the website also for the part-time staff to check in.
Yeah.
And it was getting hit on that part of it. And it was, it was probably a month or two. I don't remember, but it was just like, I dreaded going into work and getting that phone call. And we ended up, our website wasn't, we found it, we had to hire a consultant, and it wasn't secure.
Yeah. Okay.
It was, and that's what it came down to. So we immediately switched companies and everything. But but people who like part-time staff who were going into login, then they were getting hit.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, so then are we liable for their, like one person's computer, like it was just gone.
Right.
And so, that is horrible.
Right.
So and thinking that we had a secured site and we didn't.
Yeah.
Was mind blowing.
We had a customer, a client of ours, and he's a good client. Anyway, he small business he sells floor plans, and so he was moving his hosting over to us. We host your site, and so do monthly maintenance and backups and plugins and make sure it's secure.
Yeah.
So he was moving over to us from a company in California. Well, he wasn't secure. He was just getting his hosting. He didn't have.
Yeah.
Y'all, Russia, he got hacked, and hundreds of dollars later, he had to. His website was down for 14 days.
Yeah.
So, it's so important to know.
Right.
Is your website secure? Do you have the tools on it? Is it being updated? Constantly.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, but we make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God, it was so horrible. But it was like probably in the 2010 area or whatever. But like it was. I just remember there was like it's like I guess it was big when the Trojan virus was out or whatever. And it was just horrible thinking of all the other people that it was affecting too, and then to have to fix everything. Oh my gosh, it was just crazy.
And then they hold your website hostage. And then you have
so
to pay
we just
for
learned
it.
about that too.
Ransomware.
Yes, we just had like a staff.
That'll take
meeting
you down.
about security and stuff like that. Yeah, and I knew one of our other members who that happened as well too. So, and Dick's giving me the 2 minutes. I can't believe we talked this long.
2 minutes already.
Wow. I know. We'll have to have you back on, Kim.
Okay.
Something I wanted to mention too was I had a chance to look at Tiny Giant's portfolio of websites, and we're going on close to 30 years where websites been the norm, and I'll have to admit it, I'm a website snob. When I look at somebody's website for the first time, there are so many judgments that go on in my head about the quality of that business and how much they care just by looking at their website. If you've got a very amateurish looking website, likelihood is I'm not going to do business with you.
Yeah.
Well, and invest the money into it. It's going to have a cost, but you can't you just can't go without that investment.
So, do you know you have 8 seconds to capture the attention of your audience? 8 seconds. Now, 8 seconds seems like a long time.
If you're on a bull.
I know.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So that you have 8 seconds, and with that, we have we design our website so that we capture the attention, and that you want to move your customer, your client down the funnel, and make sure that they click on the next page.
Yeah.
So our team is we just equipped to make sure that we build a website that brings conversions and leads, because that's what you want. You want to make sure that you are whatever your company is, like Blanton Advisors. They're one of our clients. Well,
shout out to Barry.
Yeah, Barry, you have a great website.
Right. So, but we want to make sure that when people go to his site, that it says who he is and
exactly
in the community. Bridgewood Farms, they're one of our clients as well. So, just making sure that nonprofits, we love nonprofits, and we want to, anyway.
Yeah.
They're super special.
Yeah,
to us.
exactly. Gosh, I'm so sorry we have to cut this short,
I know.
Kim. We'll have to have you back on for sure. I just want to reiterate, we have some great events coming up in February. We have a candidate forum on February 12th at the Chamber, and then we have our morning mingle on the 13th and our Fun After 5 on the 20th, and some other like ribbon cuttings and things like that. So visit our website at conroe.org for all of that information. And wow, this went by so quick.
Can I tell them how they can reach me?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Great.
Tell them how they can reach you, and we'll end with that. Yes.
Thanks. Okay, it's tinygiantwebsolutions.com, and you can reach us at 713-293-2464, tinygiantwebsolutions.com. And so, so let us help you compete against the giants.
There you go.
With Tiny Giant Web Solutions.
Oh, I like it. That's a good way to conclude Chamber Chat for this month. And we'll see you next month at the first Tuesday of the month on Lone Star Community Radio. Thank you for listening.